Hey friends, it's me. I'm ready for some more math and I hope you are too. So I wanted to go over with you the Refine, which is lesson 24, session 3, page 531 and 532. I apologize about the glare on my screen. It's nighttime, so I have to have the light on. But I wanted to go over this with you. Number 1 says, draw an area model or number line to show 5/8. Explain how to find a lesser fraction with the same denominator and give an example. So I wrote down what they want. We started out with 5/8. They want the same denominator, which is 8. That means they need 8 pieces, but a lesser fraction. So they want me to use a model or a number line. I think it's always easy to do a circle. Then I'm going to break it into 8 pieces, which means I'm going to draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're doing it in a circle, it's always half of the number. So if I'm making 2, it's going to be 1 line. If it's 8, it's going to be 4 lines. 6, I draw 3 lines. All right. So I'm looking for a fraction that is lesser than 5/8. That means smaller, and it has the same denominator. So any fraction that's going to be less than, if I have 5/8, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5/8. I'm just kind of coloring them in so you can see this is 5/8. And I need something that is less than. So I'm going to draw my circle. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines. And I know that it's about half and a little bit more. So I could easily do 1/8. That's lesser. I could also do 2/8. That's smaller. 3/8. Or I could do 4/8. They all have the same denominator. It's a less amount. So I think in talking to some of you guys were getting confused on, well, 1/8 or 1/4. Well, 1/4 is smaller because the denominator is smaller. No. When you're talking about greater than or less than with fractions, it's the amount. So 4ths are going to be bigger and 8ths are going to be smaller because you have to cut it into more pieces. If I did a 4th, this line would disappear and the pieces will be bigger. So as the denominator goes up, the size or the amount goes down. And as the denominator goes down, the size or the amount goes up. They're opposites. So you can tell right off the bat that if they want you to have the same denominator but a lesser fraction, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4 because you're talking about less pieces of the whole than you are with 5. So we could just do 4. That is using an area model. A model is just a drawing. So I chose the circle, but you can choose a square. We've seen triangles, whatever works for you. So with a number line, you're going to draw 0 to 1, and you're breaking it into 8 pieces. So you're going to need 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each one is 1/8. As I jump along, it's 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. And as I've said in every video that I've done, that you need to, 1 is equal to 8s, and this is actually 0/8. So if you're struggling with the number line, I recommend that you do it for everyone because it's just going to help you so much more. So you can see that these all have the same denominator. This is where you are on the number line. If you want less, just like if you're subtracting, you need to go this way. So could you even do 0/8? Yeah, you could. You could do 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. So here I'd model it with a model and also a number line. Number 2 talks about 2 loaves of bread. And I hope that all of you, when you look at this, you notice something right out the gate. There's something really, really wrong with number 2. Number 2 is just like the other ones we've talked about. Here's one loaf of bread, and I think they cut it in halves. Here's another loaf of bread, and they cut it into thirds. And they say, that's not quite. They say that this is 1/2, and this is 1/2. And actually, I'm going to make this bigger because it's like this. I don't even know if that's right, but you get the idea. Their 1/3 is right here. It's a little bit bigger than 1/2. And then their lines up kind of similar to that. So it says Jace and Liana each bake a loaf of bread. Jace cuts this into halves. So I know this is Jace and this is Liana. Liana cuts her loaf into thirds as shown. Jace says their loaves show that 1/2 is less than 1/3. Liana says they do not. Who is correct? Well, I kind of gave you a hint. If you notice, these are totally different sizes of bread. You cannot compare two different sizes of bread. It's like, you know, this is me and this is Mia. If I take me, cut me in half, and this is 1/2, my 1/2 is going to be way bigger than her 1/2 because I'm bigger. Just like with your parents, just with you and I, it's all the same thing. You can't compare two items. So Liana is correct because you can't compare different shapes or different sizes. Like we talked about, you can't compare bananas to apples. You can't compare different shapes and sizes. You just can't. Just like that other square that we had that we cut into fourths, and one was 1/4 and one was 2/4. You just can't do that. It's not going to work out. So immediately you should have seen two different loaves and been like, yikes, we cannot do that. Number 3, Mario paints 2/6 of a wall in his bedroom. Maylin paints 2/4 of a wall in her bedroom. The two walls are the same size, so that's a hint. We don't have any more of this stuff. It's now the same size. They need to be equal. You can compare things when they're equal. You cannot compare them when they're not equal. So Mario does 2/6. And Maylin does 2/4. So right out of the gate, hopefully you know that fourths are going to be bigger because the smaller the denominator, the larger the amount or the size. So fourths are going to be bigger. Like this, that's bigger. This is a 1/6. Okay, so you can tell just with 1/6 and 1/4 that they're bigger. The denominator is higher, then the amount or size is going to be smaller. You're going to have less of it. Don't think about the number. You're going to think about the actual amounts. The two walls are the same size. Explain how you know who paints more of their wall. Well, if he paints 2/6 and she paints 2/4, she's actually painted 1/2 of hers. Is he quite at 1/2 yet? No. But you can tell that May has painted more without even doing this because the numerator is the same, but these parts are bigger. So if these parts are bigger, she's going to have more space that she's done. So you can automatically tell with this rule that May has painted more of her wall than he has. Number 4, Miss Erickson makes sandwiches for her 4 children. Each sandwich is the same size. See that? Again, it's the same size. It's all equal. I'm going to keep that up there for you guys. Now I'm on page 532. I'm on the top of page 532 and I'm doing number 4. All right. After lunch, each child has a different fraction sandwich left. Matt has 1/4 left. Well, let's draw that, Matt. He only has 1/4. 1 out of the 4 left. Okay. Elise has 3/8 left. Carl has 3/4 left, and Raleigh has 7/8 left. Part A, use the information above to write a word problem about comparing two fractions with the same numerator. Ah, okay. So with that, you have to look and see who has the same numerator. You have to kind of match them up. So let me just finish these. It's hard to do. Lisa has 3/8 left. 3/8. Okay. Carl has 1, 2, 3/4 left. Okay, and the last person is Riley. And Riley has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Riley has 7/8 left. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7/8. Okay, first you need to kind of have a good understanding of where everybody's at. So here you can see I broke these into fourths and I broke these into eighths. You can easily see that Matt and Carl have the same denominator. They both have 4 pieces. He ate 3 because he has 1 left over. He ate 1 because he has 3 left over. She ate 5 because she has 3 left over. And he ate 1 because she only has 7/8 left. So part A, use the information above to write a word problem about comparing two fractions with the same numerator. So a word problem means we're going to have to write it out. We also need to look for 2 that have the same numerator. The numerator is the number that's on the top. So I'm going to go say 1, 3, 3, and 7. So I'm dealing with 3/8 and 3/4. Which one is greater? Well, 3/4 is greater because the numerator is smaller. The amount is going to be bigger of those pieces, which means you're going to have more of them. So let's see. So I need to write a word problem comparing two fractions with the same numerator. Okay, so let's solve a problem. So this is just gonna be a problem. So it could be anything you want. I'm dealing with these. So I'm gonna say which fraction, I'm gonna switch it up on you guys, is less. If Sam has 3/4 of his drink and Jimmy has 3/8, who has less? Okay, all they're asking you to do is write a word problem. So it doesn't say anything about solving it, it just says write a word problem. So this is my word problem for letter A. If you need to write this down, I'm totally okay with that. Just go ahead and stop the video and hit play again when you're ready to move on to letter B. Letter B says, use the information above to write a word problem about comparing two fractions with the same denominator. So all we're doing is comparing two fractions with the same denominator. So the denominator is the number that's down, and I could either use 1/3 or 1/4 or 3/4 or 3/8 or 7/8. But I think I'm going to do the 8s because it's a little bit trickier. So I'll say Emma eats 7/8 of her candy bar, and Camilla eats 3/8. Who ate a greater amount? So remember, as you have the same denominator, as the numerator is growing, it means you have more of those, so the amount is going to get bigger. So I can automatically tell without even doing this that Emma's going to eat more. Lucky you, Emma, because the numerator is 7 as opposed to 3. All right, then it says part C, circle one of your problems to solve. Draw a model or a number line to help you find the answer. So I'm going to do the 8s because I want you guys to have really good practice drawing the number line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to erase this part. So you have at least the model that goes along with this number line. So if I were to do something, I would circle this one because the book says I have to circle it. So there it is. You start with 0. I'm going to go to 1. I'm going to break them into 8 pieces. So I need 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8. Oh my gosh. Ah. And this, of course, is 8 eighths. Okay. Circle one of your problems to solve, draw a model or number line to help you find the answer. So now I'm wondering, well, gosh, which one is greater? So here's 3 eighths. So I'm going to jump from 0 to 3 eighths. And then it wants me to run to 7 eighths. So I'm going to draw a line here. And I'm going to go all the way to 7 eighths. Wow. I can easily tell that 7 eighths is greater than 3 eighths. As you move along, your numerator remains the same. So, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Your denominator remains the same. So you have to look at the numerator. 7 is way farther right. As you move this way, the numbers get, oops, that was bad, bigger. So you move this way, the fraction amounts get smaller. All right, explain how you could use the fraction units to solve your problem. Well, I kind of explained that. I told you that if you know that 7 is more than 3, the denominator stays the same. You're just jumping along. You're counting 3, 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. And then number 5, you're just going to choose 2 fractions to compare. So it could be with the same denominator, the same numerator. They could be totally different altogether, but you have to explain how you know which one is greater. And I do feel like that is something you can do on your own, hopefully, with all of these fraction videos and worksheets and things like that. If not, give me a shout and I'll help you with that. I hope this was helpful. Bye, guys.